Alright, Blackjack, a professional reference, page 65, A through Z. We're on L, the Brach. Also known as canceling or lobbing, just example of the appropriate we start with the numbers 1, 2, and 3. First bet sum of the outside numbers 4. If this bet wins, the next bet is 2. Since we cross out 1 and 3, the first bet loses with the series losers become 1, 2, 3, 4. Other next bet is 5. Lake Tahoe region, Reno, Nevada. Several major casinos renowned. Beautiful scenery, skiing, blackjack tables. Lake Tahoe, 22 miles long, lies on the California-Nevada boundary line. Blackjack rules. Some of the Reno casing located with the state line. Crystal Bay, incline village of Carson City, Las Vegas. City with the largest concentration of legalized gambling in the world, with the world population of 250,000, is one of the most popular places for the play casino blackjack, located in southeast Nevada with the city's consistent hand had some of the best opportunity with the card counters of the U.S. and the downtown Las Vegas Strip. Las Vegas rules. The Las Vegas Strip rules typically have been defined as the following: doubling out on the only first two cards. Dealer stands off on soft 17. Dealers are after splits not allowed. Pairing splitting up to 4 hands, no resplitting of the aces. Today, most large casinos in Las Vegas offer the double out after split after the multi-deck games. In addition, the following rules are offered should be assumed for the other casinos around the world unless otherwise indicated. Insurance allowed. Dealer peaks only for the 10s, but ace receives only 1 card. Multi-deck games are face up and dealt from a shoe. Single double-deck games are face down and handheld. Las Vegas Strip, the string of the casino, Las Vegas Boulevard, south of the Las Vegas, Nevada. Most of the large luxury hotels, casinos are located to the extent of approximately 4 miles in downtown Las Vegas. Las Vegas rules. Side note: Las Vegas Strip rules are assumed all casinos in the book if the insurance is not allowed. Mention the made of the fact, however, the rules differ from the mentioned Las Vegas system. Surrender, see surrender law in southern northern Mojave Desert of the Colorado River. Several major hotels and casinos. 1990 Law in became the nation's 4th largest gaming market compared to Las Vegas, Reno, Sparks, and Atlantic City at the present time. It shows a typical table layout. Blackjack dealers must pay 17 to awards of 16 and insurance, and pays off 2 to 1. All casinos 10 at a time are writing, offered as a hard 17 single deck games. Half of the games were double 10s, while the rest were double 2s. Lay and pay, the dealing method of turning over players' cards, paying when they're taking the bets for gathering all the users' cards at the same time. Lay and pay, staying, dealing most of the prevent Las Vegas, Linux sales, most of the other locations, see pick and pay. Layout, the diagram of blackjack layout, usually green and covered with the imprinting of the casino logo or name, and they usually imprinted, but occasionally you will see the tables over the colors. Most distinguishing layout differences. Rules require dealers to stand on soft 17. Las Vegas versus rules require the dealers to hit on soft 17. Northern Nevada, other layouts exist, such as over under 13 games. European unusual layouts found and additional rules of the dealer will pay back blackjacks 3 to 2. The insurance bets 2 to 1 and are typically shown in the same figure. A league, a dealer's weakness, such as exposing a whole card or overpaying a better Lieb criterion. Alternative betting size criterion proposed by John Lieb suggested the players not fix the bankrolls. Most recreational players are better at off-sizing their bets. On bankroll, on the other hand, not on Kelly suggests Kelly's criteria level. As level 1 system level, the number typically refers to the card counting system with the maximum point of the card number. The high-low count will be considered a level 1 system, whereas Zen counting would be considered a level 2 system. Like card clumping, when generally happens with the result in insufficient shuffling procedures, see clumping limited with Blackjack. Gimmick offered with the Aladdin in 1980 with a 1-game limited consisted of 11 rounds. All players buy in with a fixed amount of the put, another 20% of the buy-in side of the pot. After 11 rounds, whoever had the most money left the one side of the pot. Sounds like mini torment to me. Limit. As betting limited maximum minimum bet amount with a wager by one person. Typical casino bets limit the range from $1 downtown Las Vegas to several $1,000s at the Strip casinos in Las Vegas and Atlantic City. Live see George Loader, front loader. Locating bet, also called steering technique. Techniques used to locate and steering known to cards in play is see shuffle, traffic, long run. Period of long time. Player must wait before he can expect to see results of a theoretical play, usually meant for the referred to thousands of plays of hands. Long run strategy based on the optimizing playing chances to win based on the actual theoretical advantage of the player has in the game. Short run strategy Losses as in loss to hand. Overall basic strategy player will lose about 48% of all the hands, wins, and pushes. See wins and pushes. Louisiana State approved the Riverboat Casino gambling in 1994. Also, one of the land-based casinos have been approved for the New Orleans in 1994 with the Riverboat gambling. Low card, typical reference of 2, 3, 4, and 5 or 6 value cards. See high card, low card clumping. When low cards are clumped together, see clumping. LS means late surrender. Luck. A good luck or a bad luck, more technically referred to as standard deviation, due to the fact that the most recreational players only relatively smaller number of the hands per trip, than what often referred to as luck. Does the player major role in final outcome of whether the player ends up the winner or loser. As one continues playing over time, lifetime luck becomes less important. Probabilities of the game will begin to show with the opponents of the short-run strategies just fooling themselves and thinking they can outsmart the long-run probabilities. Lucky Bucks, a casino term referring to gaming coupon low stack players that can often find 2 to 1 or 3 to 2 paid bet. Lucky Buck coupons and casino fun books. These coupons are issued with the casino with an incentive over the gambling and generally restricted minimum bet, even money table games. More often than not, Lucky Bucks can be obtained only by players with out of town identification. See match play Las Vegas, LV Las Vegas, LV Las Vegas, S Las Vegas Strip. Alright, MAC, multiple action, MACAU, surrender, 5 card surrender, Mad Dog. Yes, this is spelled correctly, known to the millions of keen insight, casino smarts with incredible good looks. Mad Dog, also known as Michael Dalton, the publisher of the editor of the Blackjack Review Quarterly with the new Lesser Blackjack Players, other incredible book. Magic Wheel Blackjack, a 6-inch diameter basic strategy slide rule tool type wheel. Marked cards, a cheating technique for the dealer over the players. If the player knows the dealer's whole card, obtained with a major advantage over the dealer. If the dealer knows the value of the top of the deck, top of the card, the deck is able to deal seconds. He can obtain with a major advantage over the player in electing to deal this card, some of the other card in the deck. See Dob. Marker, the short-term loan extended to the credit of the player, typical in form of a casino check with a draft, allow the player to draw chips against the credit line or money on the deposit within the casino. See front money. Marker button, a plastic button, usually in with a view of the table to the side of the dealer's tray, indicating with a marker credit player. A 1,000 button would indicate a player in the game has 1,000 marker. Marker player, a player not playing with a pocket cash. Many marker players sit at either third or first base to make it easier to sign the markers from the pit. Martingale, or PBS, the historic name of the progressive betting system, doubling up of it after losing, possibly named after Henry Martindale, an Englishman who ran several casinos in London West End during the late 1700s. For the mathematical point of view, it seems system attractive if the player had an infinite large bankroll. However, since all of the casinos have the maximum bet rules and regarding bet spreads, the system will always fail. All other progressive betting schemes fails the same category variation of the bet system of the Great Mountain Martindale, where a player doubles his stakes, adds 1 unit after every loss. System type N to produce a small win, relatively few large losses. However, losses are most inevitable and devastating. Match play. A match play chip at the casino proportion with where the players can bet at a special token, a coupon that must be matched at the equivalent real chip. The $5 match play chip must be played with a real $5 chip per cast. Typical promotions create a positive expectation of the even the negative expectation of the game. Match play chips usually keep the dealers after each play. Winner loses. If the dealer does not keep the match play chip after a win, then his value of the player is considerable higher. See fun book may or count. Maximum largest bet allowed in the blackjack table to table. The minimum maximum time card scanner electronic design mounted blackjack device. This device must be shown when the dealer has an ace or under his 10 or 8s without revealing any of the other whole card information. Specifically desired card must be. Alright, aces and 2s and 3s and 4s and 5s and 6s have 1, 7 is a 0, 8 and 9 are negative 1s of the McGee plus minus. Mechanic, a card mechanic is a skill of the chief of the individual expert slave of the hand of the card manipulation. Use only one wheel. One can deal seconds. See also peeking and anchorman. Mechanics grip, a method for the holding of the deck of the cards that show such allow the person to peek or deal seconds, performing other sleights of hand the effect of the merge. A shuffling tracking definition referring to the deck the dealer picks up a set of cards which each of the hand then does 2 or 3 riffles. Sometimes with stripping. The following definition obtained with the jack small wood Center merge a card with discard of the divided into stack A and B. Successful merger placed in pile C. Split merge breaks are A and B and rifled, then split and placed in pile 2, piles C and D. Right left mixture same as above. Center stutter merger first merger and placed in pile C. Next pack from A and C and B and C until end. Right left structure stutter merge. Two target piles C and left and D and A to B to D and A to D to C, C B to B and A to D to C until end. So merger. The cards per position, usually 6 to 8 equal stacks, largely left of the right of the dealer's perspective. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, merge units to one pile, merge unit sequence, definite shuffles, A and E, B, F, G, C, G, D, H until end. Method of Blackjack, professional systems. Michigan, a time on the writing with aware of there are 7 to 8 Indian reservation casinos in the state. You will find 4, 6, and 8 decks there. Here with the typical Las Vegas strip rules, see Indian Blackjack. Mimic the dealer. This is basic blackjack. Sure, you follow the exact same strategy of the house. You will mimic the dealer, hitting all 16s and standing on all 17s, unable to split or dabble down. The house advantage for this such strategy is about 5 to 5%. Minimum blackjack. Minimum the smallest bet required at a blackjack table. The rear find minimum table the bet lower than $1. Sheet table limited Minnesota. Time writing these were over a dozen Indian reservation casinos in the state offering blackjack. Minus count, see the negative count, mirror, cigarette lighters, ring pens, or an assortment of other common devices that has been used in blackjack table to peak of the dealer's whole card. Anything with a mirror finish or is very reflective could be used by the bold player. First spacing or front loading, misdeal, and a departure of the rules. Correct procedure for the dealing of the cards. Mississippi riverboat gambling has been legal since 1992. While state that the riverboat mergers need only to navigable by permanently moored at time of the writing of the general greatest concentration of the casino with the Gulf Coast region by Bay, St. Louis, Gulfport, and Big Biloxi. Mississippi golf rules, typical dockside casino rules that are the same as Las Vegas Strip. The following double after splitting allowed in most casinos. Missouri, Rizvos, Mitchell, money making, blackjack, money management, techniques and methods. Players use the control of the gambling bankrolls. Money of the management is more important blackjack tournament strategy than it is any long-term expectation for regular blackjack play. However, all the players who recommend to stick to some of the personal money management play see Kelly criterion. Money play. A money play is $100. A spoken phrase the dealer often makes is directed to the floor man. The phrase meaning that the currency laid on the table will be played and not exchanged for chips prior to the hand. Many of the casinos require this as policy. Morgan method, MBPE, multi-parameter blackjack engine and software, multiple deck, see multiple deck. Multiple parameter counting, an advanced card counting system that keeps a separate track of the cards normally count as zero. The multi-parameter method developed in 1975. Peter Griffin, the method that would entail the keeping of a separate track of the cards counting zero in card counting system. Table of multi-parameters tell the players how modify the running count based on the number of the zero value cards left in the deck of the multi-parameter method useful of the players using system and assign the ace of the value of the zero. Multiple action blackjack. That is also called multiple action blackjack or triple action blackjack, developed by the Dick Laverso, offered from the Four Queens Casino, Las Vegas, 1991. Each player with 3 betting squares, which he is required for at least 2 of them, and some of the casinos require the player to play all 3 squares. These players receive other one hand and plays it out. Normally the dealer hands it and then played out with 3 times instead of each bet. There is no change since basic strategy. However, the card counter should be aware of increased risk of the game. According to Stanford Wong, easy to remember rule 4/16 for 2 hands and is to be a bet of 140% would be a bet on 1 hand and 70% hand. And 3 hands, 160, or would be bet of 53% of on the hand. Blackjack variation should not be confused with the variation that is dealer himself. 3 different up cards called triple chance, multiple deck. The use of 2 or more decks in a game, most typical arrangement found with the blackjack. 2, 4, and 6 decks, and 2 decks typical dealt with a hand wall with the 4, 6, and decks are dealt with a shoe. Multiple hands to play more than 1 hand of blackjack to place more than 1 bet, then using more than 1 spot on the table. The my as my 2, a nonverbal abbreviation, minus by counters to speed up their counting skills. Alright, and natural, also called blackjack, 2 card count, ace, and a 10 value card. See snap or NJB blackjack method. An acronym of the dealers has 10 and up and an ace and a hole and hands plays an ordinary 21 and not a natural. Negative. Negative count when running count or is negative and opposed with a positive count. Negative swing, extended period of the time during which the player shows the loss. Neutral card typical reference of 7, 8, and 9 values. However, the 8 is most neutral of all cards. Nevada, covering approximately 110,000 square miles of the western state with the largest current of gambling. Yes. New Blackjack method, according to the advertising method, supposedly allows you to play in about 25% of all of the games and advantage of the 5% without card counting, and involve the clump cards to anticipate with a whole card, high and low and neutral, and anticipate the next card out of the shoe. 7 the skills learned are required. Level 1 first base strategy, predicting the first card out of the shoe. The advertising claims as high as 50% of the average advantage can be obtained. Level 2 enhanced card reading. Level 3 called primary indicator prediction of whether or not the dealer's whole card is high or low. Level 4 is called secondary indicator prediction, whether or not the next card out of the shoe is high or low. And level 5 of the double down strategy. Level 6 insurance strategy. Level 7 of the 10s ratio betting strategy. New keys for the winning of the Blackjack. Major winnings company New York Indian Blackjack. NGC Nevada Gaming Commission. NH European no hole cards. NI no insurance, meaning insurance is not allowed. Nickel, a $5 chipper check, or an NJCC New Jersey Casino Control Commission no hole card up. European rolls through Chapter 4 for the no hole card up basic strategy. No need to count. The joiner count, -2, ace is -2, 2 is 1, 3 is 1, 4 is 1, 5 is 1, 6 is 1, 7 is 1, 8 is 1, 9 is 1, and 10 is -2. Nolan's system, non-random shuffle. Shuffle that has not been a random shuffle to believe with one effect for the non-random shuffle. The player of the dealer buys for the sum of the shuffle, the random shuffle to see the target. Northern Dakota and NR systems. NR and common acronyms of non-resplit. And yes, even if as seen, use non-random shuffle. And SJQ, acronym for no splits, unlike 10 cards. Alright, object for the game. Object for the game of the blackjack of the beat to 0. This is done by obtaining the total cards equal to or less than 21, and so that the higher than the dealer finds of the total. Note that the player can win any total under 22 if the dealer busts. Off to the top, the first hand of the new deck over the shoe immediately after the shuffle. The Star Olsen True Count, the unbalanced card counting system developed by Ed Olsen with the original computer system analysis of Michael Dayton. 8 is -1, 2 is 1, 3 is 1, 4 is 1, 5 is 2, 6 is 1, 7 is red or black, 7 count 1, 8 is 0, 9 is red or black, 9 count is -1, 10 -1. Omega 2 Bryson Carson Advanced Point Counting System. C A is equal to 0, 2 is 1, 3 is 1, 4 is 2, 5 is 2, 6 is 2, 7 is 1, 8 is 0, 9 is -1, 10 is -2. Opposition betting. This is the multi-deck betting strategy where the player waits for the count to turn down before the raising of the bet. Although originally intended, this is a way to cover the bet spread. It must be a useful strategy in games having insufficient shuffle cards or light card clumping. Oscar Grind, the ghoul of this system is one betting unit of each series of the bet. Each first bet is 1 unit. The loss of the next bet is always use 1 bet. After such successful loss, next always bet the same side of the bet just lost. And series of losing proceeding with the 1 bet by used to increase the next bet by 1 limited. No, but it should be ever larger than necessary to end a series of profit for 1 unit. The OU and OU over under 13. Outfielder team player who is not seated. Over and under 13 optional side bet with the first one introduced in 1988 and achieved the Tahoe state line, Nevada, that allowed the player to wager on his original 2 cards as whether they were a total of over 13 and under 13. The developer Ken Peary, Caesar Pit Boss, owned the rights to the design of the unique table layout used. Typical rules have no requirements of play of the over and under wagers based original 2 cards hand, not to exceed wager on Blackjack hand. Even money pays on win. Aces count as 1 only. Face cards count as 10. Must have a wager on Blackjack hand to make over and under 10, 13 bet. House wins any 2 cards exactly 13. Basic strategy over under betting is to never take it. To modify the counting system is required to take advantage of the excellent profit potential of this game. Typical card counting would be effective at detecting favorable opportunities for this bet. Ace is -1, 2 is -2 is ace is 1, 2 is 1, 3 is 1, 4 is 1, 5 is 0, 6 is 0, 7 is 0, 8 is 0, 9 is 1. No, sorry, 9 is 0, 10 is -1. As you can be seen with the BC and the basic count and the BC and the PE above the count would be ineffective with regular blackjack. P, a common acronym for the pair splittings, often known as SP with the pay, commonly seen is in blackjack litter, mean with the pair split with the U with the distinguished from S, which also U with the means stand. PA stands for player advantage pack, and a new deck with the card still in the box, complete with the undiscarded jokers. Typical new card order with a high quality pack of the cards included with both rising and falling sequences fouls. Paddle the tool, U with the push the paper money with the markers, fill slips within the drop box. Paint a picture face card with the jack queen or with the king, sometimes even the 10 with the pair of the card with the two cards with the same rank pair, switching the common advantage with the rule unit. Option allow the player to split with the original two cards with the same value with the wager independently that have the effect of a doubling playing an original bet with the proper playing splitting games player 0.4% gain with the overall mental dealio strategy to split with the aces palm. Seal money of the chips for the cards in the hand. Parlay over the winnings to the continuing betting of the original wager plus the winning C press. A pat is a hand in no need of any more cards to a hand that is 17 to 22. A hand trolling 17 to 21. Dealers are required to stand on all hard counts of 17 and 21 and soft 18 counts at 18 to 21. Depending on these rules of the casino, the dealer may or may not stand off on soft 17, see soft 17, hard 17s. Pattern. Players often see with the belief of the predictable pattern with the cards dealt with impossible to random shuffle the deck with the apparent pattern similarly random with the however some of the belief are used the methods to exploit shuffling that are not random card clumping due to the natural pickup of the order in the game and the introduction of the new cards into the game have been begun based on the many pattern recognition strategies. See target, see MBG. Payoff of the collection of the bet. See payoff. Payoff is in the payoff of the bet with the casino deal. Also payoff of the from the right to the left. In other words, third base gets paid first, then the dealers of the pair pay off their players in one of the three ways. Color for color, total converting, C deal in the payoff with a PBS, acronym U with the book, meaning with the progressive betting system. PC, abbreviation percentage, usually whenever the front house advantage referred to in win rate with a PC with the determined final with the count with the money and with the Dropbox money given out with a chip tray and C with the whole PCSLN acronym U with the book and the meaning with the point count system level to N. PE playing efficiency, peak freak, a term used by the casino personnel to describe the whole card player. Peeking and taking to look at a card with the dealer instead of the peek with looking and pop with the natural with the ace or 10 up card with the cheating dealer will try to peek to determine the value of the top card over the deck. Pell invented the Talon Pell game offered Sam's Towns, East Las Vegas during 1982 with 8 decks with the 4 decks placed in 2 shoe with the 1 card drawn with each for the shoe with the player bet on whether the both cards red both or black both the same. Suit this game was easily beaten by the card counters. Penetration percentage fraction of the deck or shoe of the devil. The players some of the prefer with the U of the point with the dealers for the dealer another hand round rather than a shuffle to define with the penetration. Although the minor point over the shoe game, the major point with a single deck, penetration is considered one of the most important factors to determine the profitability of the blackjack game depth charge. Perfect shuffle, also called the Farfo shuffle, Operation Shuffle, separates top of the bottom, 26 card, 52 card deck, and precisely interleave them top of the bottom of the cards, remaining unchanged in position. Phase 2, playing strategy for the game success with light card coupling. Pick and pay the dealing method that turns over the player cards, paying and taking bets, picking up the hand before proceeding the next player's hand. Pick and pay is the style of dealing most common with the Northern Nevada and C lay and pay. Pie Master 21 small pocket size card, incorrect basic strategy chart, and progressive betting scheme, pink slip, fill slip, pink's game checking chip token worth of $2.50. Some casinos at those at Atlantic City use the demonstration to make easier pay than $5 winning blackjack. In this case, $5 bet would be $7.50. The player would receive the blackjack. Many dealers upset with this, with the policy tends to reduce the player token the two first offers. Pips, the suits designed in clubs, diamonds, hearts, and spades on a playing card with indicated the determination of the required memory of the pip arrangements on the card to enable the player to determine their value when peeking or spooking. Pip the area with is surrounded by including with the game table, the pip off of the most senior gaming supervisor of the grouping of the table floor man report with the pip off of the pip boss, typically referred to with the shift off of the casino manager. Pit stands at the pit boss desk, pitching the terminology as in pitching the cards to a player. PK, or also known as peeking under 10s allowed. Playing, bidding of the action. Player 21 every day and win. Play variation, the very way to play the cards, some given basic strategy. Play zone, and shuffle the track definition. Instead of the cards, play forward to the predicted count, see the track zone. Player gamble, the individual who plays for the best or make for the place playing decision. Blackjack table to give in the next moment. The 6-7 spot with a sit. To sit, however, only one player is required for the game to be dealt in. The enemy locations, especially Europe and Asia. Additional players who are not seated are permitted to place bets on the placer's hand who are seated. Player advantage, PA. The advantage of the player on the heads on the bet. You the book refer to the advantage of the correct basic strategy. You the single deck of Las Vegas strip of the game is usually a 0% reference. 4 deck is a negative 0.5 reference. This means that the 50% worse off playing in a 4 deck game compared with a single deck Las Vegas game. Typical card counters long-term advantage can vary from 0 to just under 2%. So although the player may much greater than worse advantage, individual bets house advantage edge to play. Player bias, see bias, playing correlation. The playing correlation card counting system related with what is known as the inner product of the sum of the product of the point of values of each of the counted card and effect of the removal of the card. See with the playing efficiency. Playing efficiency, a measure related to playing correlation, which indicate how closely a card counting system responds to the change of the playing strategy. Single parameter systems approach any of the optimum playing efficiency about 70%. However, playing efficiencies can be attained only if the separate cards are kept the different types of cards. If then multi-parameter systems use the achieve efficiency in setting betting correlation. Playing strategy, also called betting strategy, for the strategy of the player. You the play with his hand with dealt with initial 2 cards and ideal playing strategy would require knowledge of all remaining cards in the deck. PLM, money management, 3x5 card size, money management, money minimum pocketbook, wallet, size plastic card. Some of the minor variations of the basic strategy. Plucking checks as opposed to the picking check, for the dealer terminology for manner in which checks are removed from the table. Plugging. Purchase shuffle the procedure for the particular remaining cutoff cards. Plug them into the cards already in the discard. Double plugging will refer to breaking the cards into the 2 stacks and then plugging each stack into the different portion of the discard's block. Plugging will refer to the placing of the cutoff between the discard prior to the shuffle, also called slugging. Plus count, positive pocket, where you see with some of the dealers keep their player tokens. Say the top shirt pockets of the dealer bulging. The chips often do with the player token within the last 20 minutes or so of the positive counting system, a card counting system in which the cards are assigned a value to either positive or negative 0 as played for most of the cards favorable, and the player usually give the negative value, while those who are unfavorable or give the positive value as they are removed from the deck. The pointer term coin from Steve Forte will refer to the dealer who is also pointing the player's betting circle, rushing him along to act quickly on the hand. A pontoon corruption, a French term, Vagantoon. Pontoon is a social version of 21, an AR Americanized casino basic banking game of Blackjack. Pontooning, a variation of the game of the Blackjack, were very popular all Allied troops during the First and Second World War. Alright, pour is the deck is 10 is in the deck. The deck is 10 poured. To have the smallest normal percentage of the card value present in the deck, see Rich. What as the novice gambler becomes after playing thousands of hands of negative expectation games. 5 of the counting running count is positive, opposed to a negative count. Precision counting, also called the CK system. A is -1, 2 is 1, 3 is 2, 4 is 2, 5 is 2, 6 is 2, 7 is 1, 8 is 0, 9 is -1, 10 is -2. Preferential shuffling action by the dealer, shuffling the deck for the decks that are positive with the player, with the dealer out with the deck for the decks that are negative with the player. Press to increase the side of the next bet with the double up. Pro Blackjack, at the hand of the held battery-operated electronic blackjack game and computer can be with the training tools to learn with the high-op 1 count or game includes Las Vegas rules, extending no stand with all 17, 1 to 4 players on the hand, 1 or 6 decks only, ensuring the double splitting up the 4s in the hands, and surrender includes hint key for play advice. Probability, the classic definition probability expressed as follows: if the trial can result in a number equally likely events of the M, the favorable occurrence of the event E, the probability E when the event occurs as P is times E is equal to M over N. where number of the favorable events is over the number of possible events. The probability of event always is numbered from 0 to 1, alpha expressed with a percentage. Sure bets S could be expressed as in PS or 1 or 100%. Probable error parameter equal to 0.645 times standard deviation. However, half of the individual results lie within one probable error of the mean value of the distribution of the normal progression is betting progression that increase one bet size in some systematic manner in martingale. Progressive Blackjack, also called Progressive 21 Marketing Promotion, with the rewards players will manage to maintain specific combination cards for held the March for 1991 Tropicana Casino in Las Vegas introduced the game of the jackpot worth at least $2,000. All players had to do was make $5 minimum bets and get 4 red and 5s of any combination of hearts and diamonds. In other variation of the player is required to make a side bet of 50 cents or $1 for a chance of progressive plot jackpot. Promotional coupons and fun books. Promotional betting to bet proportional to your bankroll depending on your advantage of the game. You must have an edge to justify making a bet. Expected negative in your option. Optimal bet is 0. See Kelly criterion. Puerto Rico legal 6-deck shoe gambling can be found in Dorado, Humanico, Mango, Rio Grande, and San Juan. Push, a standoff or tie, a situation in which the player and dealer both attain the same hand with a value, no money change with the hands in an event with opposed to push in the most games. Pushes are a standoff except if the player busts before the dealer. In this case, if the dealer subsequent busts, so the player still loses his wager. On the average, the basic strategy player will push about 9% of the time and see win or lose, push 22 and catch 22. Alright, Q, C for queen, quarter as in $25 chip. Q, 1 of 4 10 value cards in the standard deck of the playing cards, and as shown here. The quick eye is a blackjack quick eye, quick count. A simplified count developed in spot with the friends who can handle the regular count but will want to help the swim of the manager. Start with a shuffle with a count equal to -1 times the number of the decks. Use number -6 for the decks. Add one positive 1 for every hand dealt, including the dealer's hand. Each round, subtract 1 from count from each 10 or ace you see. In other words, only 10 and aces are counted, but you're keeping the track of the hands that are played. This method is based on the observation that the average hand is played usually approximately 2.6 cards. Alright, R, split aces, RB, red and black, racks, chip tray, rainbow. Also called the barber pole, a bet made with the different denomination checks. Random statistical term permutating to or characterizing a set item at every point member over the which have the equal chance occurring with a particular frequency. Random number generator, a computer program that yields pseudo-random or truly random numbers. Random shuffle, to perform a shuffle that intermix of the cards in such a manner that it has complexity to destroy any previous system. A sequence, ranks, patterns, intentional clumping of the cards be shown that requires at least 7 shuffles to produce the randomness. A single deck game. In the general, most casinos require 3 to 4 shuffles for a single deck. Only 2 shuffles for multiple deck games. In some, the non-random shuffle. The rank of determination of value of the card. The 8 of spades has a rank of 8. The Queen of Hearts has a rank of 10. C-suit rank count system. A simplified counting system taking account with only 1 or 2 card value with the ace count with the C5 count. Rating split, form in which activity the players record such show winning and losses. Amount of the bet variation play with the ability to record dealer's performance rating procedure. They typically perform before rating of the player with the comp privileges rate. RCS rank counting system. Readable. A readable dealer is a dealer whose whole card can be spotted by a player or other person in the casino. Dealer whose body language can be read and she see tells. Red blackjack, abbreviation for red natural pays 2 to 1. Red black. This is a side bet believed to be introduced by Four Cuisines Casino in 1992. In addition to the regular bet, you may bet on the color of the dealer's up card, like over, under 13. Side bet proposition can be taken in proper counting system. Red 7 count, an unbalanced card counting system. Ace is -1, 2 is 1, 3 is 1, 4 is 1, 5 is 1, 6 is 1, 7 is starred, 8 and 9 are 0, and taken is -1. Relay, a team player who relays signals from one person to another. Reno City, Nevada. Reno rules, double 10 or 11 only. Double dealer hit soft 17. Rupert system. Ace is negative 2, 2 through 7 is 1, 8 is 0, 9 is negative 1, 10 is negative 1. Resplit aces of the advantage of this rule. Allow the player to resplit aces of the after the already split pair of aces of these rules is important with a single deck name and significantly with a multiple deck split aces. Resplit ace advantages rules allow the player to split a pair of the after having them already split pair of resplit aces. Revere advance for plus minus. Aces are 0, 2 through 6 are 1, 7, 8 are 0, 9 and 10s are negative 1s. Revere 5 count. Ace, 2, 3s, 4s. Revere 5 count. Everything is 0 except for 5s or 1s. Revere point count. Ace is negative 2, 1 is 1, 3 is 2, 4 is 2, 5 is 2, 6 is 2, 7 is 1, 8 is 0, 9 is 1, 10 is negative 2. Revere plus or minus. This is the one I use. Ace is negative 1, 2 is 1, 3 is 1, 4 is 1, 7 is 1, 6 is 1, but 7 is 1, and then 8 and 0 and 9 are 0 and 10 is 1. Revere 10 count. Revere is 1971. Alright, also know that 14 counts into the pot with the card values up to 14. Lawrence Revere with the Griffin and K. Owens, also known as Leonard Specs, Parson, Paul Mann, leading Blackjack episodes during the 60s, early 70s. Advanced point counting system was one of the top working tools of professional blackjack players. And the time of Revere died on April 23rd, 1973, after 7 weeks after butt out with cancer of the liver and lung. RFB, room, food, and beverage, rich. The deck is rich is 10 rich to have the large number of percentage of the card value of the presentment of the deck and see poor riffle. Type of the shuffle. The typical shuffle of riffles are completely shuffled. The end and literature of the riffle is usually defined as the breaking of the deck with a two approximately equal the part of the inner, leaving one part with the other. Most people would call the procedure a shuffle, but to avoid confusion, determine the riffle is being used instead. Shuffle is typically either referred to some of the total actions referred to reorder the cards. Riffle, strip, riffle would be considered complete shuffle. Rings have been used in blackjack players to keep track of the count, with to keep track of aces of the other cards and mark nickel with the nicks of the cards. Peeking of the dealer's whole card, right action, reading of the term right action, the main card of the counter. Professional blackjack players are told that as they are told quietly but forceful to leave, not return until paying over the arrest of their trespassing. Risk a sequence reference of the rising card suit, the denomination. Risk of Ruin, Gambler's Ruin, Riverboat Casinos, and then RM Royal Match, Robert's Ace Count, Stanley, Robert's 5-6 count, Robert's 10 count, Robert's 1 number, Register, Roginski, CNR point count. Rollover when the top of the half of the stack of the cards become with the bottom. Two-step rollover refers to the stack of the cards A over B over C, with it becomes C over the B over A. Brown blackjack tournament refer to the number of the hands per table. Rouge and Nor system. Aces are negative 1, 2 through 6 are 1, 7, 8, and 9 are zeros, and 10 is negative 1. Royal 21, also called Royal Pontoon. When the player hits 7, 7, and 7, the popular bonus hand in social blackjack games in some casinos is 6, 7, 8. Also, Ace and Jack of Spades. Roll Match, a product bet technology Carson that side bet introduced in 1992 in the Nougat Casino. Carson Daily, the side bet, $1 side bet with the player wagering 2 cards will be same suit. The typical rules for the first 2 cards with the King and Queen. Same suit won either 10 or 1 or 25 to 1 on the Royal Match. In addition, some of the casinos offered 2.5 to 1 if the first 2 cards were in suit. Real split aces, RX, real split aces up to X to the number of hands, RNT point count system, rubber band, deal, a term coined describing a system assigning dealers to the table games who are not assigned specifically the table during a shift, so called because the rubber band is often placed around the clipboard or under the name of the last dealer assigned. See Ruin, Gambler's Ruin, rules, the laws and regulation govern the playing of the game, running count, cumulative value of all the cards played at a given time based on the set of the preassigned values of each of the card. Denomination, most card counting systems also require a player to convert his number to which is called the true count in order to make the accurate variation of the basic strategy play. Most of the players use the unbalanced count system. The running count is 0 in the neutral and unplayed deck. Real world casino and software section. RWC. See how long the tapes run this time.